Hello everyone, welcome back to the session of English. In this session, we are going to continue with our chapter subject verb agreement. Well, this is another part of the same chapter. Okay, so in this session, we are going to discuss a very important rule, that is the rule of conjugation. Now, we have already discussed all these parts, introduction and all the various rules of subject verb agreement we have already discussed in our last session. In this session, we are going to discuss rule of conjugation, that is to be. Okay, so rule of conjugation to be, and then the types of questions we are going to discuss in this session. Okay, so let's begin this session. Now, this is conjugation of verb to be. Now, what is to be form and what is the conjugation of to be? Let us see. The verb to be is irregular in English, meaning it does not follow regular conjugation patterns. Here are its various forms. Now, whenever we see be in a sentence, basically when we make a sentence, this be form is really very important in making a sentence. Though in some sentences we may not find the to be form, but many sentences are formed with be. Okay. Now we have two types of sentences. One is active sentence, active voice sentence, and other is passive voice sentence. Passive voice sentence cannot be made without be form. Okay. If we do not have be form in the sentence, then the sentence cannot be in passive voice. Only passive voice sentence they focus on the word be. It means be form is very very important in case of passive voice sentences. However, if we talk about active voice sentences, some tenses are there or some types of sentences are there which can be formed with be form, but some can be made without be as well. Okay, so here be can can appear or cannot, but in case of passive, be is always there. Okay, passive voice sentence cannot be made without the help of be form. Okay, now if we talk about the various be forms, the present tense or the present form of be is, are, and am. So all these are be forms. Okay, these are present be forms. Past tense, in past tense we can see be in the form of was and were. The third form of be is being, and the fourth form or the present participle form is being. Okay, being means ing form of be. Okay, that is be. Okay, so we have to discuss each and every of these be forms, how they are used in the active sentences and passive sentences, and in which tenses. Okay. So first of all, we'll discuss be in the forms of present tense. Now, whenever we talk about present tense, what is present tense? Present tense is actually when the action is going on in present. Okay. And we know well that present tense have various other types, that is indefinite or the simple present. Okay. Another one is continuous. Okay. Continuous tense. And we have another one perfect, and then we have perfect continuous. Now you should keep one thing in mind, that any of the continuous tense, whether it is present continuous or perfect continuous. Okay. Now, if it is, let me tell you this one, that if the tense is either continuous, perfect continuous. Now this is present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. So we see tenses, all the three tenses, present, past, and future, and further classifications of them are as follows, that is indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Now, any of the continuous tense, whether it is continuous or perfect continuous, it cannot be made without to. Okay, so be is mandatory to be here. Okay. Whereas if we talk about indefinite and perfect, they may not contain the word be or any be form. However, if we talk about the indefinite form, we can make the simple sentences where we have the subject, then be form, and then the complement. So here, be can be present. Okay, maybe. Okay, may in some sentences. Okay, um, it may contain the form of be. However, perfect sentences, they do not contain be form. Okay, so all the other parts like continuous and perfect continuous, they contain be. Indefinite only contain be when we have the structure of subject plus be form plus complement. However, if we talk about be forms, the passive voice contents cannot be made without be, whether they are indefinite tense, continuous tense, perfect and perfect continuous. So in case of passive voice, we necessarily need be form. Okay. So in case of present tense, we may have a structure I am. For I, we use am. So am is also the part of be. Or you can say am is the present form of be. You are with you because you refers to the plural subject. We use are with it. Okay. Now, if I am using you for the singular person as well, we need to use are only because we consider you as the plural subject always. He, she, it, they will contain is. Okay, they will be followed by is. So, is, am, are, these are the present forms of be. We are, you are, they are. Now, let us see some sentences of these. First of all, the sentences I am going to the store. Now, in the sentence, you can see am, which is the be form, and going, which is the main form of the verb. Okay, so this is the main verb, and am is the auxiliary verb, but this is the be form over here. Okay, so it can be used as the auxiliary verb in a sentence. I'm happy with the results, but in this sentence, you can see that I is the subject, am is the be form, and happy is the subject complement. Okay, so here this am is the main verb. Okay, this is the main verb over here, whereas here it is used as the auxiliary verb. Okay. The next sentence is you are my best friend. Now again, this word are, this is the main verb in the sentence because you is the subject, are is the be form as well as the main verb, and my best friend is the subject complement. Okay. You are studying very hard. Now in this sentence, studying is the main verb and are is the auxiliary verb. Whereas there here, this are is the main verb. Okay. Here are is the auxiliary verb and studying is the main. Okay. The next is he's a doctor. Now, once again, this is a main verb over here, which is the present form of be, which is used with the subject he. Now, next is she's coming to the party tonight. So, is the helping or the auxiliary verb, whereas coming is the main verb and is the present form of be. Next sentence is we are going on vacation next week. So, again, here we is the subject of the sentence, are is the helping verb and going is the main. Okay. We are responsible for the project. In this sentence, are is the are is the main verb and responsible is the subject complement. We is the subject of the sentence. Okay. So here are is the main verb, which is the present form of be. Okay. So present form of be, it can be used as an auxiliary verb as well as the main verb of the sentence. It depends on the structure of the sentence. If we have this structure that is subject plus helping verb plus main verb plus object, their be form will behave as the helping verb. But if we talk about the words which are suppose the structure is subject plus be form and the subject complement, their be form will be the main verb of the sentence. Okay. Also, if I say I want to be a doctor. So in that case, I want to be is the infinitive over there. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. They are my colleagues. So are is the are you can say over here is the main verb and my colleagues are the subject complement. The next sentence is they are playing basketball. Here and the sentence are is the helping verb or the be form and playing is the main verb of the sentence. Okay. So you can see all these are the present tense or the present forms of be. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Here we'll discuss about past tense. So we have, I have already discussed with you that be in the past form is was or were. Okay. So again, if we talk about past continuous tense and past perfect continuous tense and past indefinite, they in active form they will contain be in their sentences. And in case of passive voice, all the types of tenses of past tense, they will contain the form of be. Okay. So we write was, not were. Okay. But in case of if or the second type condition, we can have were. In the use of any subject is relevant over there, whether there is the singular subject or the plural subject, the verb will be past and plural. Okay, but that is the conditional sentence that we have already discussed, and we'll discuss them again in the next session or in the future sessions. With you, we write were because we always considered you as the plural subject. He, she, it with was, we were, you were, they were. Now let us see some sentences. I was at home yesterday. Now in this sentence, I was, where I was at home. So this shows the presence of mind. So here was is the main verb. Okay. Next sentence is I was feeling tired after work. So was is the helping verb and feeling is the main verb over here. Okay, so this is the main verb, whereas was is the auxiliary or the helping verb. Next is you were my classmate in high school. So you were is the main verb over here, which shows that you were, it means your existence was as my classmate. So my classmate is the subject complement and you are is the subject over here. Okay. You were supposed to call me yesterday. So you were supposed to, were is the, now this sentence, you were supposed to call me yesterday, this is the passive. Okay. Now he was late for the meeting. So was is the main verb over here because they show because the sentence the author shows the state being or the you can say the state of a person who is coming late. Okay, or the status of the person coming. Okay, she was happy to see her friends. So she was is again the main verb over here, which shows that she was happy, and happy is the complement, subject complement of the subject she. We were neighbors for many years. So were is the main verb over here, which is used with we, and we is the plural subject. We were working on a project together. So were is the helping verb and working is the main verb. They were friends since childhood. So were is the helping verb and friends are the main verb. They were discussing the latest news. So were is the helping verb and discussing is the main verb with ing. Okay, so these are the verbs or the be form. We can use was or were to show the past tense of be. Okay, I hope you have understood all these sentences. Now let us move to the next one. The next one is future tense, and in future tense, how we use be? Using will. When we use will or shall in a sentence, in a future tense sentence, we have subject, then will and shall, and then we have the proper form of be. It means the basic form of be. Now, future tense, the rule are as follows. The rules are as follows: subject plus will or shall, and after will or shall, we use be. So here, be is used directly. Why so? Because will and shall are the modals, and after the modals, we can only have first form of the verb. Okay, so be is the basic form, or in its basic form will be seen over here. So subject plus will and shall, and after that we have be form, and then we have will be. If we talk about future continuous, this is not about future indefinite, but this is about future continuous. Okay. So these are the rules of future continuous tense. So subject plus will shall plus be plus verb with ing. Okay, so in this manner we can see the sentences. So I will be, you will be, he, she, it will be, we will be, you will be, they will be. Okay, so according to this. Now one more thing, if we talk about future continuous tense and future perfect continuous tense, we can see be in that sentence. Now, in future indefinite also we can have be form, but in case of subject plus will and shall, in that case we will have subject plus will and shall, and after that be, and after that subject complement. So this is the indefinite tense, whereas this is the continuous tense. Okay, and in perfect continuous we'll have will, shall plus be plus have. Okay, so will, shall plus have plus be. There the structure will be subject plus will, shall, and after that we have because this is perfect, and then continuous, so we'll have been, and then verb with ing. So these will be the rules of future tense. Okay, this is in the case of continuous, this is in case of indefinite, and this is in the case of perfect continuous tense. Okay. Well, we will be seeing all the sentences according to this rule or according to these rules, and uh, the rules of tenses we will be discussing in the chapter of tenses, which we will discuss later. Okay. So here you can see the sentence, I will be at the concert tomorrow evening. So will be shows the presence of a person where at the concert tomorrow evening. Okay, so this is, you can say future indefinite sentence. Okay, I will be happy to help you with your project next week. You will be traveling to Paris next month. Now this is future continuous. You will be starting your new job soon. So again, this is this is continuous tense, future continuous tense. He will be studying for his exams all night. She will be attending the conference next week. We will be moving into our new house next week. We will be celebrating our anniversary on Saturday. They will be arriving late due to traffic, and they will be starting their own business next year. Okay, so these are the sentences which we have made of future tense. Okay, I hope these sentences are clear to you all. Well, now we'll move to the next one. So here we have discussed the present tense rule, the past tense rule, and the future tense rules. Okay, regarding the be forms, in which be has been used as auxiliary verb and as well as the main verb. Okay, according to the situations given. Also, if we talk about the active sentences, some of the active sentences, for example, if we talk about perfect active sentences, they will not contain the form of be, but perfect continuous, continuous, and indefinite tense, they contain be. However, if we talk about passive voice, all the types of tenses, they necessarily contain be form. Whether it is in any form of the sentence which can be converted into passive voice. Okay. One more thing is there, passive voice cannot be made without be form. Okay. Now let us move to the next part. This is perfect continuous tense now. Here I am being, you are being. This is present continuous tense. Okay. He, she, it is being, we are being, you are being, and they are being. Okay. Now, if we make the passive voice sentences of present continuous tense, we use being over there. Okay. However, if we talk about any continuous tense, whether it is past continuous tense, present past. Now, if we talk about continuous tense, that is in passive voice, it contains being, whether it is present continuous tense or past continuous tense. In future continuous tense, we cannot convert future continuous tense sentence into passive voice because of some conditions. Okay. So, what are the conditions that we'll be discussing in the chapter of active and passive voice? So, here, present continuous tense, I'm being, you are being, he, she, it is being, we are being, you are being, they are being. Okay, now let us see some sentences. I'm being patient while waiting for the bus. Now, here, I'm being patient means I had kept patience. Okay, I'm being considered for a promotion at work. You are being very kind to help me with my project. You are being tested on your language skills. He is being respectful towards his elders. She is being criticized unfairly by her colleagues. We are being careful with our spending this month. We are being trained in new software systems. And after this, they are being taught how to cook traditional dishes, and they are being advised on their investment portfolio. Now, all these sentences which you are seeing over here, these all are passive voice sentences. Okay, I am being patient, I'm being considered, I'm being very kind. Whenever we have the and after that we have third form, it means the sentence is in passive voice. Okay, now let us move to the next one. Now, this is past continuous tense. Past continuous tense, I, he, she, it was being. You were being, we were being, you were being, they were being. Okay. So I was being interviewed for the job when you called. He was being treated for his illness at the hospital. You were being very helpful during the event. You were being watched by the security cameras. We were being guided by the tour leader through the museum. We were being monitored closely during the experiment. They were being congratulated for their achievements, or they were being advised on their investment strategies. Okay. So all these sentences which we have seen over here, these are the sentences of past passive voice, past continuous tense, passive voice. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Now, as I told you that we cannot convert future continuous into passive voice, thus we cannot use the word being over there. So we'll start from the perfect tenses now. Okay. So this is present perfect tense. In present perfect tense, as I told you, present perfect tense in active voice, we will not be used, but in case of passive voice, we can be used or we will be used. So how will write the sentence? I have been, you have been, he, she, it has been, we have been, you have been, they have been. Okay. I have been to Paris twice. It means I have gone to Paris 2 times. I have been a teacher for 5 years. You have been my friend since childhood. Now, these are the active sentences in which we have used the word be, but here, this been is the main verb. Okay, not the auxiliary verb. You have been working hard on this project. He has been a great help to us. She has been promoted to manager. We have been married for 10 years. We have been living in the neighborhood since last year. They have been friends since college. Okay, so here been is used as the main verb. Okay. Now we'll write they have been working on this project together. So they have been working. This is perfect continuous tense. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Past perfect tense, I had been, where I can use this one. I had been to the restaurant before, but I didn't remember the name. By the time I arrived, they had been waiting for 1 hour. So we can use had been or have been in the perfect continuous tense, not the perfect tense as well. Okay. But in case of passive voice, we can use been in the present tense also. And also, in case of main verb, we can use be in the perfect tenses as well. Okay, you had been my neighbor for 5 years before you moved away. By the time you called, I had already been thinking about quitting. She had been a successful lawyer before she decided to pursue a career in teaching. Okay, so here been shows the existence of a person. The car had been parked in the garage all week before it was discovered missing. You had been waiting for hours when the bus finally arrived. They had been friends since kindergarten before they had a falling out. Okay. Now, by the time they arrived, the party had already been going on for hours. Now, future perfect tense, where we can write I will have been, you will have been, he, she, it will have been, you will have been, they will have been. Okay. By the next year, I will have been working in this company for 10 years. By the time you arrive, I will have been waiting for over an hour. By the time my project is completed, you will have been studying it for months. By the time I call you back, you will have been waiting for my response. By the time the movie starts, he will have been waiting in line for tickets. By the end of the week, she will have been traveling for 2 months. By the time you visit, we will have been living in this house for 10 years. By the next month, we will have been dating for 3 years. By the time they return, they will have been traveling for 6 months. By the end of the year, they will have been married for 25 years. Now, all these sentences which you can see over here, these are the sentences containing the phrase by the time. What is the actual use of it? We'll be discussing it in the chapter of tenses. Okay, in detail. Now, let us move to the next one. Now we'll see the types of questions. So till now we have already covered the uses of be. Here we'll see the types of questions that can occur from this subject verb agreement chapter. Okay. So first of all, you can be asked to identify the correct form of verb. The team of players is or are practicing hard. So what will come over here? Now we are talking about the team of players. It means this team is a collective noun. Okay. And with collective noun, we use singular form of verb. So is will come over here, not are. Okay. So the answer is the team of players is practicing hard. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Complete the sentence. Neither the students nor the teacher was or were aware of the change. So in case of neither nor, either or, not only but also, the subject depends on the nearest, the verb depends on the nearest subject. Neither the students nor the teacher. Now, the nearest subject is teacher, so verb should depend on the teacher. So was should come, not were. So the answer will be neither the students nor the teacher was aware of the change. Okay, this will be the correct sentence. Now let us move to the next one. The next is choose the correct form of the verb. Each of the students has or have submitted their assignments. Now, in this sentence, we have to look for the verb which should come. Now, whenever we talk about each is always considered singular. With each, every, neither, we always use singular form of verb. Okay, so in this case, has will be the correct answer. So here, each of the students has submitted their assignments. Not their, it is his. Okay, this is wrong over here. It should be his. So it is somewhere the printing error. So each of the students has submitted his assignments. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. In complex sentences, the cat along with its kittens sleeps or sleep peacefully. So the cat, when we use the along with phrase, we use the verb according to the first subject. So first subject is cat, which is singular. So here sleeps should come, not sleep. Okay, so the answer will be the cat along with its kittens sleeps peacefully. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. This is indefinite pronoun question. Someone in the crowd was at work cheering loudly. So obviously someone is always used or considered singular. Therefore was will be used over here. So the correct answer will be someone in the crowd was cheering loudly. Now let us move to the next one. The next question is of collective nouns. The committee meets or meet every Tuesday. Now committee is singular over here. So meets will come. Okay, so the committee meets every Tuesday. Now let us move to the next one. Compound subjects rules. Identify the correct verb for the compound subjects connected by and. For example, music and dance are or is part of cultural event. So music and dance are. So music and dance are the two different things or the two different activities. So we'll use plural verb with it. So music and dance are part of the cultural event. Now let us move to the next one. Noun clauses or as subjects. What he says and what he does is contradictory. So what he says and what he does. Okay. So it is are contradictory because these are two different clauses. Okay. So because they are different to each other. Sorry, different from each other. Next one is inverted sentences. Rarely does or do he miss his morning jog. As I told you before as well, that if the sentence begins with the rarely or any negative adverb, we follow the rule of inversion where the helping verb comes prior to the subject. Okay, so where rarely does he, with he, we use the verb does not do, so does will come over here. So the correct sentence will be rarely does he miss his morning jog. Okay. The next one is subject separated by prepositional phrases. The box of chocolates along with the flowers was a word delivered. So whenever we use prepositional phrases like along with, the verb depends on the first subject, and the first subject over here is the box of chocolates. So the box is singular. Okay. Therefore we'll write was. So here the box of chocolates along with the flowers was delivered. Okay. Because box is only one. Now, verb agreement with quantifiers. A majority of the students is or are attending the seminar. Now, if there are 50 students in all and the majority of the students are talked about, there must be more than 25. And if they are more than 25, obviously they are plural in number. And with plural, we always use plural verb. Okay. So here the answer will be a majority of the students are attending the seminar. Okay. Now, let us move to the next one. Collective noun as individuals. The jury has or have different opinions. Now, if they are different in their opinions, it means they are plural. They are not working collectively. They are scattered or distributed. That is why we will use have. Okay. So the jury has. Sorry, it is incorrect over here. It should be jury have. Okay. This is written incorrectly over here. Maybe some printing error is there. So the jury have different opinions. Okay. Now let us move to the next one. Now, up to this, we have already covered all the types of questions. I hope this much is clear to you all, and now you can understand what the rules actually are. Okay. So in the next session, we will be discussing another chapter, or we'll be covering another chapter of the verb. In the next session, we'll be covering another chapter. And if you want to learn more concepts, stay connected with me. Till then, thanks to you.